Right now at 10, the company QTS details its plans for a data center in DeForest. We will break down the proposal and hear from concerned residents.
A person of interest in custody. The latest details from police after a deadly shooting on Madison's north side. And
reducing the cost of education. How a newly approved state Senate bill would make online coursework more affordable. That's all coming up on News 3 Now at 10. Good evening. Thanks for joining us, everyone. I'm Sarah Carlson.
And I'm Eric Franke. New tonight, QTS is moving forward with plans to build a data center in DeForest.
The plan presented at tonight's Village Board meeting was met with pushback from residents. Our Maddie Heims reports.
Plans to turn this land into a 1,600-acre data center turned DeForest residents to tonight's Village Board meeting.
I do plan to move away if the data center is built.
Residents hearing from QTS for the first time as they present their plans for an eventual data center campus.
That will generate about $20 million a year in tax revenue to Dane County, DeForest, and to the school system.
Addressing concerns about water usage and environmental burden, QTS co-CEO Ted Greason says QTS data centers used a closed-loop water system.
Our data centers don't use water.
But those systems do require tens of thousands of gallons for the initial charge before they can run on a zero-consumption loop.
We'll still use water for flushing toilets and washing hands and kitchen and those kind of things, but the system itself is charge once and use ongoing.
QTS, in partnership with Alliant Energy, also promises to deliver 750 megawatts of renewable energy to the community. That's about 75% of the 1,080 megawatt load the center will consume. QTS and Alliant say utility rates won't go up for neighbors.
There will be no burden on the community members here for this project.
And while some came out in support of the expected economic growth and job creation,
it will also create meaningful tax revenue, allowing us to better fund schools.
Many of those neighbors still concerned with the company's ability to deliver on its promises.
The scale of data centers is hard to imagine. The upending of communities, the need to produce more electricity, and challenges to people's health.
The board did not take action on the data center proposal at tonight's meeting. Reporting in DeForest, I'm Maddie Heims, News 3 Now.
Maddie, thank you. QTS plans to submit an official zoning application to the village by the end of the month.
Now to the weather. Chilly, drizzly out there today. Alex, how long will this gloomy weather stick around?
2 days. We got Wednesday going on into Thursday. The clouds are going to stick around. It will be dry and mild as a heads up for this upcoming weekend, and then cold later next week. I'll show you just how cold coming up when we talk more in Maine weather in a little while. But those are the three things you got to get out of the forecast for tonight. Nothing out there on radar 3000 now, but that was not the case. Many places picking up anywhere between 2/10 of an inch of water, and this is an estimate, by the way, to 4/10 in Columbia County. Some areas just east of Janesville up towards the Watertown area, maybe picking upwards of a ½ inch. But then you go north of the Dells where we said some slushy snow would be a possibility last night, and then we get pictures like this. Thanks so much, Carlene, for sending us this photo from the Princeton area, showing us some of that slushy snow accumulation on that pine tree and on the area grass right underneath. And we have another weather photo that we'll show a little bit later, too, from central Wisconsin. Where they got the snow, 20s for low temperatures from the Dells on north and towards the east, 32 in Madison to right around 40 near the Wisconsin-Illinois border, where we didn't get the snowfall last night. And highs tomorrow will be in the low to mid 40s. That's normal for this time of year, but we'll have plenty of cloud cover on Wednesday. And then we'll have those clouds continue as we go on into Thursday as well. But will we have any rain on Thursday as a cold front comes through? And when I come back as part of Winter Weather Awareness Week, we're going to talk about the topic of snow squalls. We're also going to hear from Tim Halbach with the National Weather Service as to why it's so important that the folks in the media are getting the information out about snow squall warnings. That's coming up in a little while.
Alex, thank you. A person is in custody after a deadly shooting on Madison's north side yesterday. Police say they were arrested near the Dane County Regional Airport after an investigation on Brentwood Parkway near Marina Park. Officers were called there yesterday in the afternoon. They found a man lying in the road with a gunshot wound. He later died at a hospital. Now, the person is currently being held at the Dane County Jail on a Department of Corrections probation violation. And we now know the name of the man who died in a Fitchburg crash last week. The Dane County Medical Examiner's Office identifying him as Travis Shippey of Oregon. First responders say the 40-year-old died on Thursday after a crash along U.S. Highway 14 just north of Lacey Road. 2 vehicles were found with significant damage. Shippey died at the scene. A second driver was seriously injured and taken to a hospital for treatment.
The popular online gaming platform Roblox is rolling out some new safeguards to protect children from strangers. It will soon require gamers to use AI-powered age estimation technology in order to access communication and chat features. The company's CEO believes the new tool, combined with other safety measures, will become the gold standard for the online gaming world.
It's really quite simple. Capture your picture locally on the phone, use it to figure out how old everyone is, and really use that then to assign them to the right people that might connect with. But we're really not storing these images. They're deleted soon after we process them.
Roblox faces a number of lawsuits from parents and state attorneys general alleging that the platform allows predators to exploit children. The company says it has more than 151 million daily users, with about a third of them under the age of 13. Well, it is Fraud Awareness Week, and this morning Attorney General Josh Kaul addressed how to avoid, recognize, and counter potential scams. Cash, gift cards, cryptocurrency, and wire transfers are all red flags to look for when dealing with suspicious withdrawals.
According to the Federal Trade Commission, Wisconsin residents filed more than 30,000 fraud reports in 2024. Reported losses totaled more than $109 million. So the scale of this challenge is really enormous.
The Wisconsin Department of Justice also created a Stop Financial Scam flyer that can be used to help those who feel uncomfortable or uneasy with online and over-the-phone money transfers. That flyer can be found online at the Department of Justice website.
With AAA predicting a record number of Americans traveling for the Thanksgiving holiday period, that means the possibility of more wrecks on our highways. According to Sam Sarah, the crash rate for the Sunday after Thanksgiving is 65% higher than the previous Sunday. It is the busiest travel day of the year, and experts say drivers can reduce the risk by leaving earlier in the day, avoiding nighttime travel, and keeping extra space around large trucks. And the Wisconsin Department of Transportation conducting a survey on potential solutions for the Beltline. The study is looking at the nearly entire 20-mile stretch of the Beltline, but specifically hopes to address Whitney Way further west, the Verona Road area, and east of Verona Road, where the flex lane has been implemented. And there is one change several people say they hope to see.
Increase up by like 10, like up to 65 would be fine. I just think that people are zooming down the Beltline no matter what.
On the way out of town on Verona Road, forget that 40 mile an hour. Get it up to 70.
DOT says part of the reason why the Beltline speed limit does not resemble the interstate is because the difference between the on and off ramps is much closer together. You can give your concerns and comments about the Beltline on Thursday, December 4th from the safety of your home, and that information can be found on our website, channel3000.com.
Well, if you're a college student or the parent of one, you certainly know the cost of education.
And earlier today, the Wisconsin State Senate approved a bill to relieve some of those costs and make online coursework more affordable. Our Marion Rosen is here to talk to us about Senate Bill 532.
All across the UW system, fees have been popping up. At UW-Madison, new students pay a $305 fee for simply attending the university. At UW-Milwaukee, graduating seniors have to pay a $40 processing fee. And at UW-Green Bay, along with 10 other four-year campuses, students taking online courses are forced to pay a distance learning fee. Currently, students are being charged these fees for online courses, even when no face-to-face option is offered. In some cases, the course is required to graduate. Senate Bill 532 will prohibit universities in the UW system from charging these fees that add to the advertised cost of a college degree. Senator Hutton, who introduced this legislation, said in session today this bill allows students to pursue their education with fewer added costs.
This bill reminds us that technology should make higher education more accessible and less costly, not the other way around. Demographic changes are going to require colleges to adapt and offer more flexibility and better value. More and more students will demand online learning because it is a vital tool in making college coursework more accessible no matter where that person lives.
The bill passed in the Senate with 18 Republicans voting yes and the 15 Democrats voting no. The Democratic minority leader said decisions for fees should be left up to the universities, not politicians. Other Democrats say this bill will undermine the UW system and should not be touched by the legislature. It still needs to be passed in the Assembly before reaching the governor's desk, and if the bill is signed, it will be applied to the first semester or session at least 30 days after approval.
Thank you so much, Maren. And next at 10, President Trump hosts a meeting with the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia.
And releasing the Epstein files, the push from both chambers of Congress for transparency with the public. That's just ahead.
You're watching News 3 Now at 10.
Welcome back. Today, the House and Senate passed a bill to force the Justice Department to release all files related to Jeffrey Epstein.
Only one Republican voted no, Congressman Clay Higgins of Louisiana. The vote came after months of political pressure from a bipartisan group of lawmakers. Survivors of Epstein's crimes spoke out from the steps of the Capitol ahead of the vote.
By passing this act, Congress has the chance to prove that truth matters more than privilege.
Now, from the Senate, the bill then heads to the president's desk for his signature, and he said earlier this week he would sign it if it reached his desk.
Today, President Trump welcomed Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince to the White House. It's the Crown Prince's first U.S. visit since the 2018 murder of Washington Post journalist Jamal Khashoggi by members of the Saudi government. President Trump defended the prince in the Oval Office, despite a CIA report concluding that he did order the assassination.
A lot of people didn't like that gentleman that you're talking about. Whether you like him or didn't like him, things happen.
And it's painful and it's a huge mistake, and we are doing our best that this doesn't happen again.
President Trump says that he plans to sell F-35s to the Saudis, a move expected to raise concerns by Israel. The president also raised the idea of Saudi Arabia joining the Abraham Accords to normalize relations with Israel, but Saudi Arabia has said it won't do so without a path for Palestinian statehood. And now to the forecast. Cloudy conditions, a dreary day, and looks like it's going to stick around for the rest of the work week, Alex.
Yeah, a lot of clouds, Sarah, in the forecast. But are we going to get any more raindrops from these clouds? We had some rain, we had some snow this morning. As we use Future Track here, cloudy to start off Wednesday. Anywhere where you see that white, that's clouds. So 6 p.m., cloudy. As we go into Thursday, 6 a.m., for the most part, cloudy. You see all that white out there. And a weak cold front's going to come through during the afternoon on Thursday, with briefly breaking up the clouds a bit behind that cold front. And when it could have an isolated shower on Thursday, it's a very tiny chance. If we get wet, it would be just enough to get maybe the pavement wet. And then eventually the clouds are going to start to filter out and that sun will return. There's our tiny little chance of rain as we go into Thursday. Shouldn't chuckle about that. We desperately need this rain in southern Wisconsin. Our rain gauge for the month, we're down 1 2/10 inches. For the year, we're down 4 inches. I'm going to keep showing this here until we can get some progress made. We're going to continue to have drought conditions expand across southern Wisconsin. We'll get an update with the drought monitor, too, coming up on Thursday. Where it snowed this morning, we had temperatures tonight are going to dip down into the 20s up towards Camp Douglas. We'll be in the low 30s here in Madison, near 40 towards the Wisconsin-Illinois border. Speaking of that snow, we've got Rusty and Chico again. Showed them at 6, but got to showcase them again here, having just a blast in Juneau County where they got some of that slushy snow accumulation this morning. Now, areas north of the Dells saw that snow, and they'll be in the upper 30s to near 40 tomorrow. Where we didn't get the snow, Madison areas to the south will be in the lower to middle 40s with those cloudy skies hanging on tight for Wednesday and then going on into Thursday as well. And as we head towards Saturday and Sunday, temperatures boosting up to right around 50 degrees. Both the Badger game and the Packers game, temperatures are going to be in the 40s. Dress warmly, but overall these temperatures are going to be pretty nice for this time of year. Next weather system moves in towards Turkey Day, where temperatures dip down into the lower 30s. And that's going to be a hint of things to come. The overall extended pattern going out into December could be cold and on the wet side. Now, as part of Winter Weather Awareness Week, we've got snow squalls on the topic of discussion for today. Well, what is a snow squall? It's not a new phenomenon, but it's a phenomenon that we're talking more and more about, especially in collaboration with the National Weather Service, who will put snow squall warnings out. What are they? Sudden onset of intense snow and winds. Sometimes I like to explain this. This is like a severe thunderstorm warning, but in the winter, sometimes you can have winds gusting up to 60 miles per hour, whiteout conditions, and even lightning at times as well. So you need to take snow squall warnings very, very seriously. Usually we know a day in advance or the morning of or by the noon show if we're going to have snow squall activity, and we want to get that information out according to the National Weather Service and the First Warn Weather Team, because we don't want you to drive in to a snow squall at all. The First Warn Weather Team, now, we showcased our Winter Ready special back in October, on October 18th, and we talked to Tim Halbach with the National Weather Service and listen to what Tim has to say, why it's so important for us in the media to take snow squall warnings very seriously.
When there's low visibility, you might not be able to see up ahead that there's this multi-car accident that's happened and you drive right into it. So very dangerous situation that we're trying to warn people of.
Yes, very dangerous indeed. You drive into that potential car pileup and you just don't know that it's there, and that pileup perpetuates itself. So you can learn more about our Winter Ready special and the National Weather Service in our talk with Tim on channel3000.com, where you'll find the entire Winter Ready special. And speaking of special, it's time to announce that very special second winner of a First Warn Weather Winter Shovel. That's congratulations to Scott Maurer from Madison. And tomorrow we revisit the latest on southern Wisconsin winter research from a renowned professor that I went to school with. That's Professor John Martin at the Atmospheric and Oceanic Sciences Department. His research may have you shivering a little bit less. And we will also hear about blizzard accounts from a very important person in my life. That would be Graham Harrington.
She got some old stories from.
She knows.
She knows. Weather with the Y's, as we like to say. That's tomorrow.
Good stuff.
Awesome. Sounds good. Thanks, Alex.
Thank you. Flu season is once again upon us.
That's right, and a new strain is popping up just in time for holiday travel. News 8 Now's Grace Monk reports from La Crosse.
Flu season is around the corner.
The holidays is a really great time to be with family, but it's also an opportunity to get sick from other family members.
Last winter, the U.S. had its highest rates of flu hospitalizations in nearly 15 years. Health officials say another severe flu season is possible due to lagging vaccinations and a new mutated strain.
It has become the predominant strain over in the UK, over in Europe. And there are some indications that it's made its way over into North America.
According to data from Wisconsin DHS, 23% of Wisconsinites received at least one dose of this year's influenza vaccine. Meller recommends getting your flu shot before things get bad.
If you haven't gotten your flu shot now, like this week, next week is a really great time, especially as we're approaching the holiday season.
AAA expects around 1.65 million Wisconsinites to travel for Thanksgiving. Meller says this could increase your chance of catching a respiratory illness.
Touching handles, touching different things, and you go and touch those afterwards and touch your face. It's a really great way to be exposed.
In addition to getting a flu shot, Meller recommends washing your hands frequently and staying home when you feel sick, even if that means skipping your Thanksgiving plans.
If you are having a little bit of like a runny nose, a slight cough, you're feeling maybe a little bit under the weather, our best advice is just to stay home and take care of yourself, and then maybe schedule your family events for a little bit later when you're feeling better.
And that was Grace Monk reporting. At least 280 children died of flu, the highest number on record going back to 2004. Doctors say you can get a flu shot by visiting your primary doctor or a pharmacy, and that's that time of year.
Yeah, you can also go to vaccines.gov. They'll tell you the closest place where you can get that all-important flu shot just in time. And it's time for the postseason for the volleyball Badgers. It always heats up this time of year for them.
It certainly does. And speaking of still to come in sports, we preview a top 11 volleyball match that very much impacts NCAA tournament seeding. We talk more next on News 3 Now. Calling Darlington football dominant wouldn't really do them justice. Their average margin of victory in the undefeated season that they just had was nearly 3 touchdowns. It's a margin that's only grown here in the postseason. But Thursday's state title game against Edgar isn't necessarily expected to be a blowout. Their head coach, Travis Winkers, isn't worried about how his guys will respond to their first real adversity, so long as Zeke Zuberbuehler is his quarterback.
He is just a flat-out dude. He really is. He's
the best quarterback I've had as a junior. He's probably the smartest sports kid I've had, which helps him on the defensive side of the ball as well. And he's a 4.0 kid. I can't say enough about him and Dante. They're probably two, I don't get in trouble too much, but they are my two favorite kids I've ever coached, and they're only juniors. They're just tremendous leaders as well.
Staying on the football field, but let's go dancing D3 style. UW Whitewater's road to their third national title in 10 years starts on November 29th. They host DePaul in the second round of the NCAA tournament. They, of course, got the first round bye, as did UW Platteville, who beat the Warhawks this year. They'll host Alma College in the second round. And if you're wondering, for them to play in the D3 national tournament, well, it couldn't happen until the national title game. You never know. Speaking of the NCAA tournament, it must just be that time of year in the sports world. Wisconsin volleyball only has 4 games left before the big dance, making tomorrow night at the Fieldhouse a huge one when the 10th-ranked Badgers host the 11th-ranked Boilermakers.
Two teams, I think, that are tied for second place in the conference, both of them trying to finish at that spot and, an opportunity to kind of fill your resume out a little bit, and going into the NCAA tournament, there's not a lot of opportunities in front of us, but I think we're starting to put together our best ball of the season.
Let's hoop. The 23rd ranked Wisconsin men's basketball squad is off to a 4-0 start, thanks in large part to John Blackwell. Their junior guard is averaging just shy of 20 points per game and was named to the top 50 finalists for the Wooden Award, of course, given to the best player in college basketball. When the Big Woo is healthy and true, he is tough to top. Since 2020, the best ERA in MLB belongs to Brandon Woodruff. The Brewers starting pitcher has certainly dealt with his fair share of injuries, but the crew still believe that he can be elite. And that's why today they signed him to a 1-year deal worth more than $22 million. That's a franchise record for a Milwaukee pitcher. And we will call in our relief pitcher, Alex Harrington. He could also be a starter. We'll have him next on News 3 Now.
Stephen Colbert's All News.
That is the reaction of people who are not in the files.
With Ted Danson and Chef Allison Roman. CBS Tonight.
Yeah, final check on the weather.
Yeah, Alex, final check.
Gloomy, unfortunately, the next 2 days, but I have to tell it the way it is, right? As we go into Wednesday and Thursday, clouds. Temperatures at least will boost a bit as we head towards Thursday. We'll be back into the 50s, around 50 for Saturday and Sunday. Both the Badger game and the Packers game looking just great weather-wise. And then we start to cool on down. This is probably going to be a topic that we start talking about more, is the cool temperatures that are expected in the extended and maybe some snow.
I hear it a lot. Thanks, Alex.
Yeah, thanks, Alex.
And thanks for watching, everyone. Late Show's up next.
Our next newscast tomorrow morning at 4:30, and you can always find us streaming 24/7 at Channel 3000+. Have a good night.